I am Abu Rayhan Muhammad ibn Ahmad al-Biruni, born in the year 973 CE in the ancient city of Khwarazm, near the banks of the Amu Darya, a land that bridged the worlds of Persia and Central Asia. From the earliest days of my youth, I was drawn to the mysteries of the stars, the movement of time, and the languages of men. My world was not defined by borders, but by curiosity. I believed that the universe was a vast book, and that each culture, each people, wrote one of its chapters. My task, I decided, was to read them all. As a child, I gazed at the heavens through instruments I built with my own hands: astrolabes, armillary spheres, and sighting tubes. I learned that truth could not be found in dogma, but in observation. The patterns of the sky taught me patience. The language of mathematics taught me precision. When the Khwarezmian court recognized my gift, I was welcomed as a scholar among astronomers and philosophers. Yet my thirst for knowledge could not be contained within one kingdom. I traveled widely, across Persia, Central Asia, and the Indian subcontinent, in search of the wisdom that connected humanity. My life changed when I arrived in India, following the campaigns of Mahmud of Ghazni. Many saw conquest. I saw opportunity. To me, India was not a land to be taken, but a civilization to be understood. For years, I immersed myself in Indian culture, language, and philosophy. I studied Sanskrit, spoke with Brahmin scholars, and read their sacred texts, the Vedas, the Puranas, and the Mahabharata. I learned of their cosmology, their mathematics, their astronomy, and their understanding of time. I did not come as a missionary, but as a seeker. I wished not to compare, but to comprehend. From this journey of learning, I wrote my most celebrated work, Kitab al-Hind, or the Book of India. It was not a book of conquest, nor a traveler's tale. It was a study of an entire civilization, its religions, philosophies, sciences, and social systems, written with admiration and honesty. In that book I wrote, to be just in comparison, one must place himself in the position of the other. And so, I described India through the eyes of its own people, not through the lens of prejudice, but through empathy and understanding. It was this spirit that made me what you now call the father of Indology, the first true scholar to study the Indian subcontinent in a scientific and cultural sense. But my curiosity did not end there. I measured the radius of the Earth using trigonometric principles, and found it to be remarkably close to modern calculations. Centuries before the advent of modern instruments, I studied time zones, longitude, and latitude, and proposed that the Earth rotated on its axis. I calculated the circumference of the globe using a mountain's height and the angle of the horizon, a method later refined by astronomers of the Renaissance. I was fascinated by light and vision, and I explored how the speed of light might be finite, how rays refract when passing through different substances, ideas that would resurface many centuries later in Europe. I wrote over 150 works on astronomy, mathematics, physics, geography, and history, though only a portion of them survived the tides of time. Among them was my Chronology of Ancient Nations, where I compared calendars from various civilizations: Greek, Persian, Jewish, Indian, and Arabic, to understand how humanity measured time itself. My goal was always unity through knowledge, to show that truth does not belong to one people, one religion, or one age. I believe that all learning was connected, that the astronomer, the geographer, the linguist, and the philosopher were all seekers of the same light, viewing it through different prisms. During my years in India, I learned humility from scholars who saw knowledge as a sacred duty. Their texts spoke of cosmic cycles lasting billions of years, ideas so vast that even the Greek philosophers had not imagined them. I wrote of their decimal numeral system, their concept of zero, and their mathematical precision, explaining these ideas to the Arabic world. Thus, Indian knowledge flowed westward, inspiring later generations of scholars and scientists. Through my translations and analysis, I became a bridge connecting Greek philosophy, Indian mathematics, and Islamic science into one continuous chain of human understanding. My philosophy was simple yet revolutionary. The pursuit of truth is the duty of every human being, no matter where it leads. I did not fear contradiction. I welcomed it, for I knew that debate is the heartbeat of discovery. When I compared the astronomy of Ptolemy with that of Aryabhata, I found beauty in both. When I examined religious differences, I saw not conflict, but diversity of perception. To me, all knowledge was sacred, whether it came from a mosque, a temple, or a library. In my later years, I reflected upon what I had learned, that the world is a circle of learning, and no civilization stands alone, that knowledge grows only when shared, and that true wisdom lies in understanding others, not conquering them. I died around the year 1050 CE in the city of Ghazni, surrounded by my books, my instruments, and the quiet whisper of the stars. But my spirit endures in every field I touched: astronomy, geography, anthropology, and beyond. When modern scholars trace the roots of comparative religion, cultural anthropology, or global science, they find a single name at the dawn of it all: Al-Biruni.